Now let's hear R.C. Sproul's oh so relevant opinion about church services. And how should we have church services? Should they be exciting? Should they have bands and people who are vocalists? R.C. Sproul, what say you?
I believe that corporate worship is established by God for His people. And it is God who has established how He is to be worshiped. And I talked to the founder of Seeker Sensitivity 20 years ago. And he told me that he had done his research and taken the public polls in Chicago, and over 2,000 people, and he talked to people who had left the church, and the number one reason they gave for leaving the church was the church was boring. The number two reason was the church was irrelevant. So he had a passion to reach those people, and he said, what I'm going to do is construct a church that no one will ever think is boring. We're not going to have a chancel, we're going to have a stage. We're not going to have a choir, we're going to have vocalists. My church is not going to look like a church. I'm going to make a building where people are comfortable, who are unbelievers, and I'm going to get through all of the trappings of religion to reach these people. And that was the strategy, born of a passion to reach people for Jesus Christ. And I said to him 20 years ago, I said, when I read the Bible and I see the records of all kinds of people who encounter the living God, there is not a monolithic response. Some people are giddy with joy. Some people pass out. Some people weep. Some people run. Some people tremble. In fact, most people tremble. But of all of the accounts that we have in the Bible of people meeting God, I see not a single reference in Scripture of anyone ever meeting the living God and being bored.
Well, have I got a story for you, Mr. R.C. Sproul. It is Bible study time with R.C. Sproul. Let's turn our Bibles to Acts 20. We can listen and hear about this kid named Eutychus. And Paul is preaching. And he's preaching a sermon that is apparently really rousing, according to R.C. Sproul. So it says this: on the first day of the week, when we were gathered together to break bread, Paul talked with them, intending to depart on the next day, and he prolonged his speech until midnight. There were many lamps in the upper room where we were gathered, and a young man named Eutychus, sitting at the window, sank into a deep sleep as Paul talked still longer, and being overcome by sleep, he fell down out of the third story and was taken up dead. So here's a guy who died by a boring sermon. So, I don't know. R.C. Sproul's advice to this kid is, the sermon wasn't actually boring. You shouldn't have been bored. Or, maybe R.C. Sproul could have given Paul some pointers about what to preach about, so it's more God-centric, to be more exciting or something. I don't know what's going on there. But there's a story for you, R.C. Sproul, about a boring sermon in the Bible that led to someone's death. So this has been Bible Study for R.C. Sproul.